As it's now 20 years since we moved back home to Devon, after time working away in Istanbul, London, Phnom Penh and Oxford, this year I've been reflecting on what I've learnt working in Devon. And there are 5 things I'd like to share. Number 1, networking. There are networks and there are networks, and if you're not careful, you may end up going to the opening of an envelope. That's certainly where I was when I ran a business with my husband, as we used networking to support the growth of our business. The caveat, though, is that when we first moved home to Devon, believe it or not, networking wasn't really a thing. Not here, not anywhere. So my learning over these years has been to choose your networks carefully and not to overlook networking tools like social networks and, of course, the phone to save yourself some miles. My favourite quote about networking is this from Bill Nye, the science guy. Everyone you will ever meet knows something you don't. Number 2 is focus. Staying focused, especially if, like me, you're a flexible worker, someone who thrives on working wherever you happen to be, can be tricky. And being in such a wonderful place to work and live can provide all manner of distractions. I found digital tools like the tomato timer to be really helpful, supported by the Pomodoro technique. Oh, and a clear understanding of my purpose, my why. And the quote I love is from George Lucas. Always remember, your focus determines your reality. Number 3, communications. Having worked in 4 very different locations before I came home, I'll always be grateful for the learning this provided. Communications is all about how your message is received, and I particularly love the quote from Milton Erickson. The effectiveness of communication is not defined by the communication, but by the response. So learning to communicate in a way that enabled me to achieve the results I was looking for has been key, and that learning is and continues to be my constant companion. Number 4, decision-making. Coming back to Devon saw me set up my own business for the first time, and I quickly realised that decision-making was key. Whenever I feel stuck, I find myself looking for the question I'm looking to answer. A really helpful discipline if you find yourself stuck in long meetings too. Think, what is the question this meeting is trying to answer? And you may well find you'll reach the conclusion of that meeting much quicker. Hence, in any moment of indecision, the best thing you can do is the right thing. The worst thing you can do is nothing. The quote from Theodore Roosevelt is a favourite of mine. Number 5, perspective. Perspective really is my favourite learning, which may have as much to do with the ageing process as with working back in Devon. Setting up a business with my husband was just something we did. It seemed right at the time, and I will never regret the learning it provided, both in terms of our relationship and in terms of what it really takes to run your own business. Looking back on it, I continue to see things I would do differently if I had my time again, yet I try not to do that with any sense of regret. Back then, I didn't know what I know now. For me, perspective is best defined by Henry David Thoreau. It's not what you look at that matters, it's what you see. I hope something here will resonate with you as we continue to work together to support organisations in Devon and the South West to thrive.